Everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're reviewing a new product from a company we haven't worked with yet, the Sylvan Arms 30 Ti, or their 30 caliber titanium suppressor. So Sylvan Arms is based in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. They're also known for making other parts besides firearm suppressors. Stuff like AR-15 folding stock adapters, vice block adapters, Glock mag adapters, stuff like that. So they do a lot of small parts building as well as a firearm suppressor. So today, as usual, we're going to cover it here in the studio in detail. And of course, we're going to pick out some hosts, hit the range, and see what it sounds like so you guys can make your own informed decision on it. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. All right, as you can see, it ships in a nice nylon case here. It's not waterproof or anything like that, but it is a nice way to transport it to and from the range. Comes with a shim kit here for your mount. It does come with an included 5/8 by 24 mount. This can be for your 30 caliber host, 300 blackout, 6.5 Creedmoor, 308, stuff like that. Go ahead and set those aside just for now. And of course, you have the main suppressor. So as usual, we'll cover the specs. Comes in a overall length of 8.25 inches. A diameter of 1.48 inches, and a weight without the mount installed of 11.2 ounces. And then when you add the mount, everything together weighs 12.8 ounces. It's actually really light in the hand. I've been reviewing some other cans lately that are a lot heavier. 12.8 ounces. It's actually really on the light end for a rifle suppressor. So kudos to them for that one. As far as the materials, the tube is constructed of grade 9 titanium, and the baffles inside are K-baffle design, and they're constructed of grade 5 titanium. And then everything is coated in a nice, looks like not a matte, not a gloss, more of a kind of cross in the middle. So we're going to go with a satin black Cerakote here. They didn't say if it was high temperature, but I assume since it's on a rifle suppressor, it's going to be a high temperature version of the satin Cerakote. Now, they did say it is full auto rated. I didn't get an exact rating. We're not going to go with belt fed here. We're going with full auto. So since it is titanium, I highly recommend, if you are going to use it on a full auto host, shoot a string and let it cool off a little bit, okay, so you don't have any issues down the road. Now, we're going to go back to the mount. The mount looks to be constructed of titanium as well. It is very light, and it doesn't feel like aluminum to me. I couldn't get an answer on what this was made from. But yeah, I'm gonna side with titanium here, since they went ahead and constructed the whole suppressor itself out of titanium. I don't know why they would go with anything less for the mount. The mount is more like a brake type setup. Has a little standoff device milling there in the front. And those of you that have been around suppressors for a while are gonna immediately notice the mounting interface. So this looks a lot like the AAC M4 2000 interface. So you're going to have a large Acme thread here, and then you're going to have your ratchet detents here on the side. So to mount it, obviously you would time this on your host, and that's what the shims are for. Of course, for today's review, the host that I'm going to bring to the range, we're just going to screw this on. I'm not going to time it because that would just take too long to film. So normally you would time it, so you have the muzzle blast going out at the 3 and 9. So this would be on your host gun. And then you would just thread on the suppressor, and you would hear it click. Once it stops, it's on. Now, my first rifle suppressor was an AAC M4 2000. It is on a M16 machine gun right now, and it currently probably has an unexaggerated 60 to 70,000 rounds on it, half of that full auto. That can is beat to absolute hell. Multiple baffle strikes on the front cap, no paint. I have had the latch replaced once though. And this even has the two, I'll show a close-up here. This even has the same claw design here that might wear down. Again, I don't know if this is hardened. This feels really light, so that's probably also titanium. As cool as this sounds to do, when you put it on your gun, I highly recommend depressing the latch while you mount it on the gun, so you don't get the rubbing of the latch on the interface on the mount, because over time it could wear down the sharp right angle of the latch, and you might get a can that might loosen up under recoil. So put it on the gun. I would hold the latch down, snug it, and then maybe get a click or two and make sure it's seated. But you know, a lot of my cans, they kind of live on the gun. If you're one of those guys that, you know, takes a can off of the range, lets it cool, puts it in maybe a Coltec pouch or something, you're going to want to be, you know, a little bit extra careful here with the mount so you don't wear it down prematurely. As far as baffle design, I mentioned K-baffle earlier. I can't get a count on them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's probably 10 to 12 baffles in here. The blast chamber itself, is this a can I cannot take apart to show you, is right around here is where the first baffle is. So you do have a good size chamber here for that. So it should exhibit pretty decent back pressure levels as far as not being too bad. 300 blackout, probably not going to have a problem at all. I'm curious to see what this sounds like on 308. So we're definitely going to bring 300 blackout and 308 today for sure. I don't have another mount, so I cannot shoot it on 5.56. Now, as far as the price and everything that you get for this, guys, we're talking MSRP of $674.99. So definitely an affordable suppressor with high-end materials. It actually has a really good look to it too. It's not overly machined, very classic looking. It's going to age well. I'm actually quite shocked at that price point, especially considering the materials we're using here. So, and I can't stress this enough how light this feels. So when I do put this on the Ruger American 300 Blackout later today in the video, it's going to be really nice to have this not weighing down the end of the barrel. Well, since I can't take the suppressor apart, let's go ahead and cut the studio portion a little shorter than normal so we can go out today and get a lot more shooting done. So we're definitely going to do the profile, sound shots, 200 yard to see what that sounds like, and maybe if we have enough time and if we don't get rained out, I would like to do some prone shooting and check for point of impact shift on steel and make sure the accuracy is still key. Of course, with barrel whip and harmonics, the lighter the suppressor, the better off you're going to be, so this shouldn't affect it too much, but let's go ahead, get out there, and put it to the test. Empty. Nope. Woo. All right, let's do some point of impact shift testing. So I just repainted the steel target from Shoot Steel. We're gonna drive out to 100 yards, put 5 rounds on unsuppressed, throw the can on, shoot another 5 rounds, and see what happens. All right, not my best shooting, but looks like we had our first impact was right here. I saw it because I built up the paint on the target, so I knew where to shoot first. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, you know, looked in the scope like pretty massive vertical stringing, which is weird because usually that gun's pretty on point. So practiced my shooting today. It's pretty freaking hot out and melting in the truck out there. So yeah, we'll go ahead and throw the can on and see if it shifts left, right, up, or down. It shifted it off steel. I can't see the splash, and I don't have a spotter out here, but I think it shifted it right. Let's see if I can get a better look. I aimed a little bit off the target to the bottom left, and it, sure enough. Let's go ahead and take a closer look. All right, so the first 5 shots, we're hitting center, unsuppressed. As you can see here, we covered that already. And then, as you heard, the first shot didn't hit steel, or the second or third. So I found out where they were going, because I didn't have a spotter to watch for splash, but they're actually hitting up here in the berm over the right shoulder. So we had a movement towards the 2 o'clock position of about 6 inches or so. So to confirm that, shots 4 and 5 are here. Okay, so I aimed, the first shot was right here at the edge of the steel. It hit here. And then the second shot, I aimed about here and it hit here. So you have about, you know, a 6 inch or so, maybe a little bit more movement up and to the right with this particular suppressor on that particular gun. Now that's something I can't stress enough. While most suppressors do have point of impact shift, until you get it in on your gun and mount that brake and put that can on there and shoot your ammo with your scope, the barrel whip and harmonics for every setup is going to be different. So, you know, you're just going to have to test it out and find out where your point of impact shift is between unsuppressed and suppressed. But on this rifle, it did shift up and to the right. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It is insanely hot out here today. It's only 9:30 in the morning and it's damn near 100 degrees, no cloud coverage. And I call this shooting while Irish. So you definitely get burnt out here pretty quick. So let's see, thoughts. I did notice a little first round pop on 300 blackout, and I didn't hear any on the 308. That's because we're shooting supersonic rounds out of the 308, so it's going to pretty much mask a lot of that first round pop. But the subsequent shots through the rest of the mag sounded really good, actually. A very air pneumatic sound to it. A little higher pitch than lower pitch, which I was kind of shocked. I thought it was going to be the other way around. Let's see, 308 sounded good, no discomfort to the ears at all. I'd have to put it around Sandman L-ish range as far as suppression. We don't have a meter out here, but I've shot pretty much every can under the sun, and that's where I would kind of leave it there. It's definitely the lighter of the bunch. It's lighter than pretty much, you know, the majority of the rifle cans that are available right now, and definitely a good price point. As you saw, we did have point of impact shift. I actually already repainted the target for next range outing. I'll go ahead and throw it up on the screen here of what we had earlier. We did have, of course, like I just mentioned, some shift up and to the right over the right shoulder. So that was on this particular host. Again, I want to reiterate that your mileage may vary. I can throw on a Hyperion on this and we didn't have any shift at all. And then you could throw it on your rifle and you could have shift. So a lot of it has to do with the barrel harmonics and your setup and the ammo and everything that you're doing all on one unit is going to determine where that shift is and how far it is. 6 inches is a lot, but as long as it's repeatable and you zero your scope for it, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you have your suppressor on when you zero it if you're going to be using this for hunting and stuff like that. So that's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Big thanks to our sponsors, shootsteel.com and Discreet Ballistics. I'm actually have to hit them up for some more 300 blackout because that was the last of it. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. Guys, if you want to support the channel, best way to do that is patreon.com/NFA review. And of course, as always, if you look at that gold tier, we have a huge list of discounts and we try to add more every week. It's definitely the largest discount list out there for firearm gear. So again, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did like it, click that thumbs up. It does help here on YouTube. And of course, hit that subscribe button if this is your first time here on the channel. Thanks for watching.